months talking about this. Because y'all
Why would you guys wait until I click the button to start talking about that?
I found the PDF for this, and I actually went and started talking about it with other people.
It cut in recording just after JJ is just like, yeah, I was talking about that. So he's gonna leave that topic a mystery. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ilderon Tales. This is Group D, Brothers in Arms. Yeah, Episode 2.
Down to pound.
Yeah, we have everybody in attendance. One of probably my favorite group, just as far as attendance goes, because everybody's always here and always on time. So that's exceptional.
Just attendance, though. The people themselves suck ass.
Yeah, dickbags. Can't stand them. They're awful people. Never mind that every one of them are in another campaign. I'm kidding.
We're not good people in other campaigns, so like just kind of.
What are you talking about? I'm so good that a psychic lady wanted me to keep Urkus from killing her.
Yeah, there you go.
Spoilers for Group B.
Which
I haven't determined what my other group character is, whether he's good or bad yet. He just started.
Which though, I recorded those other sessions. I have not had a Group C flop so far, so this is actually a recording right now. Anyways, we got everybody in attendance, and when we last left off Group D, they had took it upon their own initiative to go and start recruiting allies for the prince, for the chance for him to become magnate. Oh, well, I should probably start from the start of the session, so just recalling everything. The party started off getting knighted by the prince for their heroic deeds in saving his life, and the prince trying to quell tensions inside the capital, and showing that true to Artur Sarai's roots, anybody from no matter where they are can rise to glory. With that, the party went to go collect their new land deeds and found a member of the Silver Sigil was already there trying to get the party indebted to him. He gave the party a huge couple plots of land out in the eastern part of the kingdom, near the area where the noble, or the Sol Sarai Gibson Bredrick rules. The party, well, most of the party declined his gifts and said, you know, they'll get their proper land deeds whenever they can, and they threw them on the ground and walked out. With that, Makana and Kaitrina suspected that the Silver Sigil has a hand over in the eastern part of the country. And the party decided to go and recruit allies for the prince, starting with Lady Lethalia Nakart, just south of the capital, as she is one of the most patriotic and biggest names inside the country. Upon talking to her, they found out that she was wholly devoted to the prince and was not trying to usurp him. And they also found out that she is a vampire lord and is terrified of other people finding out. Stuart agreed with the party that, you know, if, you know, she isn't just throwing her support blindly behind the prince, that she should be in some type of leadership role, because the Stuart does not trust the prince at all or any of the official stories he was given. And the party was just like, hey, let us clear up those stories for you. And he's like, alright, here's what they told us. And the party's like, yeah, that's what happened. And he's like, well, they don't add up. And the party's like, yeah, they don't add up. Alright.
We were also invited to a very fancy dinner.
Yes.
I also took everybody else's land deeds because they didn't want them.
And the final things that happen in the session, Lady Nakart throws a huge ball on the 9th day of every week in Somar Villa. Invitations, even though it's a massive ball, invitations are exclusive, and you guys were each given an invitation to it. And Kaitrina also found out that her father had real estate inside of Somar Villa that now officially belongs to her.
So you said that's on the 9th day?
Yes.
How far away is that?
It took you guys a day to travel to the capital. It is the 9th, or it is the night of first day.
Okay, so we have a week.
Yeah. And
a whole week of shenanigans.
The capital and Ardor Serai and Somar Villa is, and I've explained this before, it's basically LA and Hollywood. It's Somar Villa is more of just a suburb, you know, just out of the reach of the capital. It is the fancy place where the nobles live who work in the capital.
Beverly Hills.
That's where you guys don't want to be because you're there already.
Well, bump Beverly Hills. We're gonna go back to the capital.
Back to the slums. That's where I want. All right. So, what do you guys want to do? You were just escorted from the Nakart Manor. You are at the gatehouse. You paid for a room on the north side of town. You also found out Kytrina has an estate in town, too.
Well, have we visited Kytrina's estate yet?
You have not. No, we have not. We are picking up, literally, like, from where we left off. The steward just escorted you guys to the gates.
About what time of day is it?
It is, late night of, first day.
I say we go back to the hotel and, rest up for tomorrow. It's getting kind of late.
And we'll check out the estate tomorrow.
Yep.
I want to see it today, but if y'all say so.
Alright, the place you guys got your stay at was the Woolgreaf Tavern?
The Walgreens Tavern?
Yes, that.
Okay, the Walgreens Tavern.
Can I pick up my prescriptions while I'm there?
Half off, man, half off.
I actually need to transfer my city notes from the page I have them on to the proper one, because I lost the Somar Villa page forever ago, which is a sad day. Alright, so, when you guys get back to...
The Walgreens Tavern.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Kill Jordan.
Don't do it, it's not the answer.
Yeah. Alright, so as I'm transferring these notes, I just saw another note placing everything at like where it's supposed to be. So we're gonna stick with this one though because it's what I'm already on record saying. And we'll come back to the others. Alright, so your guys' tavern is located on the north side of town. It is a small little place with the bookshelf as soon as you walk in, and all the flags of... Oops, sorry, I muted my mic there. And all the flags of different nations. As you guys arrive, catching up to the rest of the party is Lance's is 2 of Lance's 3 retainers.
Where's my third?
Well, you sent her to deliver a message to the prince.
Oh yeah, that's right. Whoops.
The 2 people before you is a woman carrying a large tome. You know, our Lance knows as Pahil, and then another Dwarven woman who is in monk's robes, denoting her as a member of the Chantry of Harmony. And Lance knows her as Inarin, is his entertainer and his spiritual advisor. Yes.
Fucking no wonder she's got a 1 competence. Fucking dwarf. Where have y'all 2 been? Huh?
As you dress them, Inarin is going to stand up, not coming, or rather standing at full height, not coming above your waist length, and she is going to salute and say, "Sir, we were traveling to catch up with you. We didn't expect such a expedient leave of the capital as soon as you were knighted.
Probably should have told you I was leaving.
She nods and says, we ran into Beeza. Yeah, there you go.
Beeza.
Beeza at the castle as she was talking to the prince, and he is having her run several more messages inside the town before she catches up with us.
Fucking using my not his freaking whatever. Okay, sorry for not telling y'all that I was leaving. I thought I did. We're staying at an inn in town if you want to go catch some rest. We're actually all about to go there now, so you just want to follow suit.
They are at your inn.
They're already here. I thought they called me in the streets.
Yeah, as you guys got here, they were here waiting for you.
I forgot. Are we all sharing a room right now, or is it all separate?
You guys have 2 rooms between you. Johan and Katrina have a room, and then the rest of you guys have a room, I think.
I whisper over into Lance's ear. If one of them needs to share a bed with me, I call dibs on the taller one.
You get the dwarf. Well, I mean, we have 2 rooms here. Our room is kind of cramped. Maybe Johan and Katrina would let you stay in their rooms. I don't think you would want to stay in the same room with. How many guys are here right now?
Well, there's 3 of us.
Yeah,
3.
Yeah, there's only
3 different guys.
Yeah, 4 of you, 4 guys, and then Katrina. So it's actually even. It's 4 and 4.
There's 4 guys and 4 girls.
No, there's 3 girls.
Well, Katrina is a girl. She's just not very pretty.
Yeah, but we don't have all of Lance's retainers.
Oh yeah. There's 3. You're right.
Yeah,
I was wrong. I forgot Johan.
Johan is willing to give up his spot so that all the girls can sleep together, and all the guys can stay in. You have a guy room and a girl room.
All right.
Huh?
It is decided. Oh, by the way, Pahil and Pahil is currently not paying much attention to the party. She is reading one of the books off of the shelf. She is dressed very nicely, and she has red hair. And then Anarin has blonde hair, and she is giving her whole attention to Lance and his requests.
See, I got one that pays attention to me, and the other one does whatever they do. Fucking redheads, man.
To be fair, if it wasn't for the fact that we were traveling together, I probably wouldn't pay you much mind either.
Thanks a lot.
Johan decides to go to the bar and have a meal before bed.
Okay. Your accommodations are paid for. The tavern price I gave you guys before included the food for the day and your rooms.
Can I look around the bar, make sure there's just to see if there's anything shady going on before we go to bed?
Yeah. What type of check you want to roll?
I'll just do perception. Perception. Make sure everything's okie dokie here.
Yes.
All right.
Everything's sunshine and rainbows.
Everything's A-okay in Johan's world.
Yeah, let's see. What am I looking for? Yeah, Johan's not going to notice anything out of the ordinary. It's just going to be, this is a very, very small, this is a very, very small establishment. This is the place where people, just traveling quickly between the capital and Somar Villa will, just spend the night. This is the cheapest accommodations you guys are going to find in the town.
Well, I mean, we're in Beverly Hills. The cheapest is probably still pretty expensive.
Yeah, yeah. It was very expensive, as JJ, or Lance spent like an entire 20 minutes complaining about the price.
Still complaining about it, damn it.
Alright. Eat my food and then bed. I'll wait for everybody in the morning.
I'll yell at Pahil. Have you eaten, you freaking book reader?
You read? What a nerd!
For real.
She is going to look up and say, I'm sustained on the healthy travels of strangers I've never known.
That gave me no information to if you've put food in your stomach or not, but okay. Sure, you know what? Go ahead. I'm going to bed.
Lance is always going to know that she was a little bit odd.
He's pale.
It sounds like Lance is the odd one.
It's a whole merry band of odd people that roll with me.
Could give reason to why the prince was just like, yeah, you travel with these guys and teach them the ropes.
You might have been trying to get rid of me.
No, never. We're gonna do that to you.
Alright.
So Johan's going upstairs.
Yep, after I eat, going to bed, making this day end so we can start day 2.
Well, this is technically day 2. Because the campaign started on 10th day.
Well, I mean, you know, next day of the week. Because
Yeah.
it's nightfall now. There's not much else we could do.
Oh, also, too, you guys were... This was something you declined that I forgot to just remind you guys of. You guys were given a bounty of a person who owes the innkeeper money that you could choose to hunt down. But you guys
wanted to do that.
Yeah, you guys decided not to do that. However, you guys all know the person's name. Just your characters do. Just a reminder. Alright, so everybody's going to sleep?
Yeah.
I actually wanted to talk to Johan real quick before he went to bed.
What's going on?
It's really bothering me how much it's not adding up to the whole situation of things.
Such as?
The whole thing with the prince going on right now.
Well, I believe he has his own issues, and I believe that a strong man is one who builds himself up from the ground. So if he's having trouble, he should be able to learn from his mistakes and become a better person because of it.
That's not at all what I was talking about. I meant more of the inconsistencies with what happened the night of everything that happened.
Oh. You think we should investigate it further?
Yeah, one thing that's really bothering me, and Celebris pulls out the flyer, the wanted poster from Melina. He had no way of knowing what her face looks like, but here it is, clear as day.
That does make sense. Her face was hidden.
That's my point.
We can tomorrow we can go. Whose mic is that? There's like static coming out of somebody's mic.
Oh, that's Robert's mic. It just might be picking you up a little bit. It's not bad on my end though. I can still understand you.
I mean, the reason why I was stopped because I was interrupting myself, I guess. But yeah, tomorrow we should probably head back to the city instead of staying here in Sol Marbella. Tomorrow, after we look at the estate, we should head back to the city and start inquiring about these issues and like how he was able to know what her face looks like
And why he was there and all of these things.
Yeah.
As Lance himself said, he's not a noble. There's no reason he was there during the meeting.
Yeah.
And why didn't she kill him outright and try dropping him out of a window instead? While the other ones, she just slit their throats.
Good points. That would be something we would have to ask the person himself. I think that's where we should start. Get it straight from the horse's mouth.
Is there any way to get a message to Elena and see if she can dig something up for us?
We can ask one of Lance's retainers if we trust him.
That's the other thing I'm still working on, if we can trust Lance or not, because he literally was one of his guards straight out.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like he cared too much for the prince or his devices, so...
I think we should, I think the best thing would probably be just to do it ourselves. I wouldn't trust, sensitive information in the hands of a messenger.
Okay.
I think this is something we just need to go ask directly.
Fair enough. So tomorrow we'll look into the estate, and we should probably come back here for the ball we were invited to.
Yeah, we could also use the ball to swing the political powers towards whoever we deem worthy enough to be the next magnate.
Alright.
Oh, there was one other thing. Didn't we know another noble? Like, didn't he help us win that final fight? It's like a bard. There was a bard that they had. Pretty sure that afterwards we were talking about him, it turns out that he was actually a noble. Maybe we could use him to be the next magnate.
Is there any way we could track someone like that down?
I mean, I'm sure if we ask around, probably figure out where he went.
Alright, we'll keep that in mind, okay?
Alrighty.
Alright, is that everything you guys wanted to discuss? And I see you, Jordan, I see you.
Do you really see me?
Shameless.
That wasn't
you don't see
transparent
me.
at all.
Just proved Johan is a very naive individual.
We
Because
only-
he spent 5 minutes with Brock and thought that that's a candidate.
Hey, Johan sees the good in all people.
If you guys
All people.
don't want to do anything else, though, for that evening, I've already rolled the dice for the happenings and going-ons.
Suddenly a
What's
bandit
happening?
attack.
I'm
Suddenly, pineapples.
going to suggest as everyone goes up to the rooms, even though we are, in a nice, comfy little inn, we should probably take turns taking watches.
Who's going to kill us? We're not wanted men anymore.
We're stepping
There's a
on very
difference
delicate
between-
eggshells right now. I think it would just be wise.
Alright, we can take shifts.
Alright, who's taking shifts when?
I'll take first shift.
Okay.
I'll take second shift.
I guess I'll bring up the room.
You guys said that, and my brain caught Celebris first shift and Lance last shift.
Johan second shift.
And
Father
Father
A third.
Okay,
Third
cool.
shift.
I got it, and let me roll these checks separately for each person's shift then. Alright, so the night passes relatively peacefully. The snow quiets throughout the night. The roads the next morning are rather before we get there on Father A's trip on Father A's stay. As he is keeping watch just after midnight, somewhere around 2 a.m. in the morning, the inn lights up with people as travelers are coming and staying at the inn. Some people arrive late at night. They don't make much of a ruckus, enough that he notices they're there. And does he want to do anything or investigate them? Otherwise, it would...
He'd want to, like, you know, round the corner, give him the once-over.
Okay. It is, he is... Let's see...
Like, do I gotta make a check?
No. I'm just trying to see the best way to describe these people without saying, you know, oh, hey, look, it's these people. He is going to see... I have to think if he's ever seen these guys before. He's going to see a group of about 5 people coming into the inn. Of every different make and style of person. There is a half orc. There's a short, pale woman. There's another human with long red hair, and there are 2 more people who look foreign, with copper gold skin.
That is not group 1, is it?
It is not. They are just people who are here.
If it was group 1, there would have been a bird person.
Other than the 2 foreigners, these people look pretty heavily armed.
Hmm. I mean, this would be a investigation check. Are there any, like, insignia? Do they have identifying features like that?
Yeah, you can, you see, one person is, one of the, foreigners, is dressed in, blue and white, and the person, with her, accompanying her is dressed in, blue and gold. You can roll me a history check to try and recognize her emblems and stuff.
Yeah. No, never mind. I'm just gonna use my...
Father A would have advantage on it.
Don't need it.
You're going to recognize the woman as a member of a faction called the Risen, back from Ililnagai. She is a foreign bureaucrat, and you're going to recognize the insignias on her robes, specifically mark her as a member of the School of Purity inside the Risen. There are 5 different schools that each teach a different philosophy. Hers is a religious one.
Sorry, one more time, what was the school?
The School of Purity.
Okay. Okay, so we have heavily armed foreigners from essentially the foreign government. Cool.
It seems that they're keeping a low profile as they pay for the room and shuffle off, trying not to make much more noise than they already have.
Well then, Father A will note it, but not disturb everybody's sleep.
Alrighty. Other than that, the rest of the night passes uneventfully. The next morning, the snow and cold air slows enough to even an on-trained rider could travel the roads on horseback easily. Which, if you guys get a horse, by the way, it cuts the travel time between Somar Villa and the capital to half a day.
How much is it for a horse to rent?
10,000 billion.
Well, it just so happens.
Let's see. A riding horse is 75 gold.
How much would it cost to get a refrigerator replaced on that horse?
75 gold.
Riding horse is 75 gold. The saddle is 10 gold, and then
Come separate? What the hell is that?
We'll walk.
What type of markup bullshit is that?
Brandon, it sounds like we'll walk.
Yeah, hey, I'm just letting you guys know what prices are. Everybody,
you know that these prices are bullshit.
yeah, everybody had a chance to get up to, you know, a little over 1,000 gold entering the campaign. So,
hey, I took the items because the items were, I felt, necessary for my character.
Yeah, I also did that. But anyways, first thing I'm gonna do is check out what's her name's estate that she inherited.
oh, Katrina's estate, yeah. All right. So, the Elslores. The first thing you guys are gonna have to do is head back to the center of town and talking to the guards, as Katrina doesn't know where it is.
I thought it was like a freaking cat. Another
Oh
one
yeah,
of those
yeah.
castles.
Yeah, he did
Huge.
point out which one it was. Yeah, it
It's
is
the second biggest freaking castle in the town.
the second.
I was about to say, like, it was huge.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to miss, wouldn't it?
So headed to the Elslore estate. The first thing you guys are going to notice is there are a couple torches lit in windows, but for the most part, this place looks abandoned.
I didn't mean to hit that, Rip.
There's a couple of torches.
Yeah, in the windows, but for the most part, it's abandoned. Like these estates that you guys have been walking around, like this town is pretty massive, and they'll have acres and acres of land. And walking estate to estate, there are normally patrols of guards or some type of employee, walking the perimeters, keeping the riffraff out. You guys are able to walk up straight to the Iron Portcullis, as this is less of a mansion and more of a fortress, and peer into the inner Narthenex of this entranceway here. There are two torches lit. It is a large stone building, and even though there is no moat around it, walking up to it, there is a what you'd expect to be some sort of drawbridge laid down over the ground.
Someone's here.
Or they just kept it open and be like, welcome.
Yeah, walking up to the portcullis, the gate is closed, but you guys can see into the entranceway. Straight back behind you is a stone wall, and to the left and right are passageways that lead into the fortress. Much like you'd expect if people were storming this place, keeping the passageways from, being straight hallways makes it harder for people to, raid or do any sort of, pillaging of that nature. Katrina puts her face to the gate and yells, hello?
Anyone home?
Housekeeping.
What were you doing, Anthony?
I was about to say, I would look back at Katrina. It's been a while since everything happened. There's definitely someone here. Look up. There's torches lit. There shouldn't be any kind of light right now.
She nods and says, yes, but, if my father paid for this how I think he did, he'd have quite the fortune to hire a serving staff. They'd probably stick around just taking care of the manor until the funds ran out.
I got a question. Is the gate open?
It is not.
Is there some type of, like, I don't know, bell or anything around the gate?
Anybody got a pick?
I got these tools.
Are you proficient with them?
Yes, I am.
Are you are? I am not. I have them. Oh no, wait! I am proficient with them. I don't have them. I have a crowbar.
Yeah, normally if this
I have
was
it the other way around.
Yeah, if this was like a locked door or something, you would be able to attempt to pick it. However, you guys can clearly see the device that controls it going up and down on the adjacent wall, and you cannot reach it. After staring here for several minutes, though, we're gonna roll up a random servant.
I was about to say, or can we use class ability?
I was about to say.
Please let me be
climb up the
Alfred.
iron gate.
His name to be Alfred.
A woman is going to walk up behind the gate, holding a torch. She is dressed in winter clothing, and sees all of you standing outside the gate, and says, "Yes, I'm the steward of this estate. How can I help you?"
This is the Elslore estate, correct?
She nods and says, "Unfortunately, Lord Gavrillo has, been ill of health lately."
Ma'am, you can drop the charade. This is his daughter. I point to Katrina.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent lie, by the way. She rolled pretty well on it.
It doesn't matter the people that killed him, though. Killed him.
Well, I mean, it's not really much of a lie. He's dead. That's pretty bad health. It's like the worst
That's
health you
no
can
health.
do.
He is out of health. It's gone.
Yeah,
If it was an attempt at someone else, that would have worked. But
you
people here killed him.
Right? There are 3 people here who had a hand down.
Yeah.
Right.
She's going to inspect Kytrina for a second, and her eyes are gonna go wide, and she's gonna say, "My God, you're like a spitting image of him." Kytrina rolls her eyes and says, "Thanks."
Puts his hand over her mouth before he says anything.
The woman walks back to the portcullis, or the device that controls the portcullis, and begins heaving it with heavy actions before it finally moves up enough for you guys to move underneath it. She locks it in place there.
Doesn't take much for me. I'm a dwarf.
She bows as you guys walk by and says, "I've had such a wonderful time serving your father. He's such an exuberant man." ...
Oh, really?
He seemed to really enjoy
Very
it.
well, douchey.
From the sounds of it, he was an ass.
I mean, he did sound like an ass.
Tried to cut us all a new one, so...
The woman nods and says, "Yeah, Gavrillo, or Lord Gavrillo was always kind of rough around the edges, but he knew how to have a good time."
He's a lot rougher around the edges now because he's got a lot of new holes. Yeah, I'm gonna stop.
He definitely partied till he drops. That's for sure.
And then some.
The woman nods and says, "The rest of the nobles in town were not very fond of him."
I wonder why.
Anyways, we heard that because of his death that Kytrina has inherited this estate. Is that true?
She's going to just look for a second and say, or she's gonna look a little confused for a second, and then say, by law, I suppose so. I've been managing the affairs of the estate in your father's absence. I was looking over documents to sell the place, but ultimately that would be your decision now. However, there aren't enough coins left in the coffers to keep the staff working here.
I turned to Katrina and asked, would you like to sell the estate? I don't see anything wrong with doing so.
Katrina is going to look over the place, and when I tell you guys this place is like standing in the halls, like this place is a small fortress. Decorating the walls are not paintings. There are not statues in the aisleways. There are weapon racks and armor stands lining this place. The weapon racks are empty, but this place, you know, was not built with the other Gothic structures of Somar Villa. She's gonna look over it and say, I think I want to hold on to it for a little while, and Makana was trying to establish a Kalkin base here in town.
I was about to... Silver steps up. I was actually about to say, if you keep it, this would make for a very well-fortified office or stronghold for the Kalkin.
I turned back to... did we ever get the name of the stewardess?
You did not.
I turn back to the stewardess and go, is it okay if we get a tour of the place? See what it offers?
She nods and takes you to the she takes you around the left passageway, immediately close to the open doors. And when I say this place is completely open, they're like, you guys don't walk through a set of doors here. Like this, walking into the fortress, you go from a stone walkway into a wooden walkway, and it's still kind of outside. However, this is shielded from the elements as there's no direct wind hitting this area. To your right, or to your left, there is a closed set of doors. The woman points to it and says, that was the main servants' quarters for anybody entering the fortress. And she moves to her right, and actually I can draw this out for you guys as you're going through here. We're going with red. Entranceway, that is the gate right there. You guys walked in this direction. Right here, she said, is the main servants' quarters, and this place is let's see. It is like 4 squat towers placed together. There we go. If you guys can see that, it is a plump squarish building. You guys walked in, and she pointed out the servants' quarters right there, and then led you deeper into the fortress. It seems there are main rooms off the corner of each of the buildings before leading you to the second floor, up a staircase and into the center of the building. The second floor overlooks the dining hall in the back center of the building. And as you move into the second floor, it moves above the dining hall, and there's a large meeting room. And along the second floor, there are two more.
Are you there, Brandon?
Yeah, I had to mute my mic. But anyways, on the second, can you give that to them out there? There might be some too in the living room. I'm about to lock my door. I love you. Anyways, there is a there are two more main rooms on the second floor, and the final fourth floor is a the third floor is a quarters for station guards, and the final fourth floor each has rooms leading have passageways leading out the tops of the tower to overlook the rest of the city.
Were there any like storage rooms, like
Yes.
an armory and stuff?
There's an armory on the first floor and a dungeon in the basement.
Okay.
Well, say what you will about the man, he at least knew how to build a castle.
A fortress. What about a library or a study?
There is leading you back to the other side, much like the building that you guys were staying in, the inn. On the right side of the entranceway, there is a small bookshelf near the portcullis that has a few books on it as you walk in. Let me guess,
they're all children's books.
No. Looking by, they are either journals of the serving staff or other people who have come by and visited Gavrillo. This is less of a. Most of the time, it is religious part of the Four Ascended to share your travels and adventures, rather than the dedicated. Rather than the dedicated, religious shrines that you'd see in other places, much like the inn you guys are staying at, and right here, this seems like a just fulfilling of requirements on paper. Like, do we have our book shrine? Yeah, book shrine. It's there. There's a book shrine. We're not heretics.
And I'm guessing, what's out in the yard? I'm guessing, like,
The boys.
milkshake. But, is
yeah.
there like a training yard?
There is, this building actually does not have much, land to it.
I meant, like, in the center, you said it was open in the center. So I assumed there was, like, an open yard in the middle of the fortress.
Oh, no. It's not open in the, center. There is an area that, looks down around the center. Let's see. That would be like the floor plan right there of the first floor. The second floor looks something more like this, drawn in green.
Okay.
There's a balcony here that looks down there, and then there are steps that lead up on either side. And above that is a large meeting room. The steps lead into that, and it's kind of like a It's the second floor, but it's kind of like a two-tiered second floor.
Okay. I got you now.
The place is basically a winding climb up to the top, and each floor looks down on the rest. So you can just imagine if anybody was storming it, you know, people could shoot down from the second floor, and people, you know, coming up the to
It's
each
like a
next
giant
level.
mall.
Yeah, basically.
The giant mall. Gotcha. I understand.
Giant dark wall?
You said there was paperwork that he kept about for
His
Land.
travels.
all that.
Yeah, but about the land deed, where is it at?
Oh, the land deed, the steward would handle that. She would go to her chambers and bring that back for you guys. On it, you can see Gavrilo's signature, written like a child trying to grasp the language.
Something tells me that Gavrilo wasn't a very, very strong or a very intellectual person.
Yeah, Kytrina's going to study it and say he didn't write many letters, but I assume this is his handwriting. The stewardess nods and says, yes, he paid for the entire estate and our contracts with a whole caravan filled with gold from his vault.
Brandon, I want to make a joke. How many letters are in the alphabet here?
Let's just say 30.
Alright. I doubt he could write 30 letters.
He probably can only write just over a dozen, enough to say Gavrilo. And you guys also know their last name Elslor isn't Kytrina's real last name. Johan knows that. It is a joke of just like you know, hey Gavrilo, where are you from? What's your noble heritage? It's just Elslor, you know. Stop asking me. Someplace else.
Gotcha. Alright, does she have to sign the new deed in order to become a proper owner?
No, it's from inheritance. This place is properly hers as long as she can prove her bloodline, which the stewardess seems to already have proven.
Alrighty.
Let's see, how much money does Kytrina have?
No, the question is, how much money does Kytrina have now?
Well, the stewardess already told you guys there is not enough money to keep the place running.
Or I think the better question would be, how much money does the Kalkin have now? The Kalkin, the Kalkin faction is making money. We could just move the Kalkin office over here and use funds from them.
We want to talk to Makana about when we get back in town. Johan.
Yeah, Kytrina is going to pull out her coin purse, which is dreadfully light, and ask the stewardess, so how much do you need to keep the staff employed? The woman, without skipping a beat, is going to say 87 gold per day. Kytrina is going to look inside of her pouch and say, can we lay some people off?
That's what I was thinking. To be fair, to be perfectly fair, if the Kalkin uses this as their headquarters, we don't need a staff. The Kalkin, themselves are their own staff. They can do the cleaning and everything.
Well, you said that there was enough in the vault to sustain for a little while here.
The woman nods and says, Gavrilo stopped working for his final few months, and after luxuriating so much and his lifestyle, he kind of drained what funds he had and had to start taking jobs again. He never returned from his final one, and that was supposed to refill the vaults.
How much is in the vaults now? Is there anything, or?
She's going to look to Katrina. Katrina is going to take a minute of just trying to figure out, like, why are you staring at me? Before failing that insight check terribly, and the woman is, the stewardess is going to ask, "Is it okay to disclose your finances, madam?" Katrina shrugs, and she's going to say about 310 gold left. Just a little less than a week of keeping or a little less than half a week of keeping everybody working. I've already started laying off the unnecessary staff.
I turn to Katrina and go, if we decide to make this our new base, we can lay off the entire staff and just, you know, move the Calcan members in here and start having the new recruits clean up the place.
Katrina's going to be rubbing her chin and then nod and say, "These people served my father happily. I don't want them anywhere near me." The woman is gonna look like very taken aback, and then bow and say, "Yes, of course, madam. I'll make sure it's seen to."
All right.
So
we fired everybody. 300 people are now without work, without home, and without food.
Johan, a pacifist, ruins lives without violence.
I mean, that's all you need, man. Right there. It's just like, yeah, just fire them.
I go over to Katrina real quick. Maybe it'd be wise to keep at least one or two around, since they know how the operations of the building work.
I mean, nah, fire them all.
I would say at least keep the woman here around, because she seems to know the most of how everything in the building is laid out and how it's all run.
Katrina's going to nod and point at the stewardess and say, "You keep your job." She bows again and says, "Thank you very much." And she points towards the gate and says, "Keep enough people to man the portcullis and to feed and clean yourselves. Other than that, get rid of everyone else." The woman nods again, or bows again.
I turn back to Katrina and go, with this, I think we should head back to Arter. Yes, head back to Arter and consult with the Calcan office and tell them we have a new HQ. Because I believe this building is bigger and nicer than our old one.
Yeah, but your old one's in the center of all the action.
I also whisper over to Johan. Plus, you won't be indebted to the Silver Sigil.
All right.
I mean, that's it.
Since they were the ones that paid for the repairs.
Oh yeah, that's also a very good idea.
What did I miss?
Katrina just
about 40 people.
Yeah, they just fired all of the serving staff of the manor.
Fucking hell.
Unnecessary expenses.
Fucking. Hey, all of y'all, I know that I just got here, and I'm the heir to this place. Get the hell out.
That's basically how it went.
Yeah, I know you all don't know me.
I don't like my father, therefore I don't like you. Bye.
So fuck you, get out.
We haven't even brought up the fact that we're the ones that killed him.
The first thing is,
unnecessary information.
I want to assure everybody that there's going to be no changes to the staff, because there will be no staff. So you can all leave.
Pack your shit and get out.
We decided to keep like 2 or 3 for now.
Yeah, the ones that can open and close the gate, and the one that had to tell them to open and close the gate.
And someone to cook for them.
Alright, so,
Fuck.
actually, let me re-evaluate what it's gonna take to keep it open. 4, 6... you guys have reduced the cost of managing the keep to supplies, and just for laborers, it's going to be 6 gold and 2 silver per day, just for paying laborers. And then,
manageable.
How many people were we fucking hiring?
So it went from half a week to like 4 months.
Well, there's also no. There were a couple guards inside the keep as you guys were walking around. Yeah, there. None of that. If anybody attacks this place, you know, just
It's gone.
whatever.
Okay, if anybody attacks it, what's in there to steal? All the weapons are gone. There's not a vault in there.
There's 300 gold.
I would tell Katrina to grab that 300 gold.
So don't pay these people anything.
No. They get their paychecks at the end of the week.
We'll figure out the details once we get everything rolling.
I feel bad for them. Y'all just ruined like 40 people's lives now.
Okay, second thought, they can keep the 300 gold. I mean, it's only 300 gold. Like,
Well,
that's not a fortune. That's
like
not a
300.
fortune worth stealing.
It is a fortune worth stealing when commoners, you know, make like 2 gold a day. And
I would just
One,
like
Not
to
even
say
that. Make a few cops
that-
for a day.
employing all of like 3 people and feeding them is 6 gold and 2 silver.
no, not
300 gold's a lot.
yeah, not feeding them. Just for the workers, it's 6 gold,
Not
2 silver.
feeding.
But still,
Yeah.
I thought
That's
commoners
a
make
lot.
2. I thought coppers make like 2 silver. What was it, 2 coppers a day?
Unskilled, skilled workers make 2 gold per day. Unskilled workers make 2 silver per day. Messengers is 2 copper per mile per message. And this is on page 159 of the Player's Handbook of Services.
Okay.
And then they have tolls and ship passage, and that's and something entirely
that's all
different. Yeah.
Was there
Okay.
any weapons, Brandon, or was the weapon bolts or the weapon armor?
Yeah, the mundane the armory was filled with mundane items. It had 85 gold worth of weapons inside of it.
Tell them to sell it. That's 85 more gold than they can have if they sell all those weapons.
Well, yeah, they
you
don't
want
have
us-
guards anymore. They don't need them. So
Yeah. To sell them,
Is there a
Who
longbow
owns
and
this
some arrows,
place again?
Katrina.
Brandon?
yeah, the way I was going to let you guys do it is just, you know, there's any mundane item you want in there, and I was just going to keep subtracting it from the price until you guys hit the amount.
So I wanted, if there was a longbow and some arrows, I did want to take that so I can have for my Kensei weapon.
Alright, let's see. Longbow is 50 gold pieces. Wow. That is
Yeah,
expensive.
the longbow is a lot.
Yeah. Alright, and then the arrows for the longbow are what? 5 gold for 20?
I think it's 1 gold for 20.
Yeah, ammunition 1 gold for 20. Alright, so 51 gold out of the 85 gold. There are 30 there's 34 gold left of items inside the armory.
Just note, there could not have been 2 longbows in that armory. That armory was barren.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's already been doing what she can to keep the place open.
Yeah.
Hey, so we're gonna fire all y'all. Wait, we could just keep them and let them sell the stuff inside. Well, I'm gonna take most of the money that's left out of the armory. You know, fucking. So we're gonna have to fire everybody else anyways now.
Yeah, I would sell the rest. I don't think, I don't need any mundane weapons. I have all the weapons that I need, which is a hammer and a shield.
All right, let me record those gold amounts so I can just remember 320
Fucking
gold in
hell.
the vault and 34 gold in the armory. And your stewardess will be trying to reduce that. All right, so you guys want to head back to the capital or bum around town some more?
I mean, we don't have a reason to really stay in this town, do we?
I mean, you guys can try and meet with Lady Nakart a second time, or get the lay of the land politically.
Oh, this would be a good time to mention what I saw. So, I'll turn to the group and note the fact that I saw a member of the prison with a handful of guards last night at the inn.
I wonder who that is. Well, the Risen don't have faction in Artisan, do they? They're-
They do not, especially not the member, especially not the School of Purity.
Because the Sky Queen's a member of the
she's
school.
not the Sky Queen's background.
Yeah, she's and this is common knowledge that people of the world know. She is risen from grace. Members of the School of Purity often ignite spiritual awakenings across the world. And by ignite spiritual awakenings, the last time there was a Sky Queen from the School of Purity, there were crusades that wiped out several other religions.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I wonder how that works.
Jesus Christ. It was in his name. No.
Wait, I think that knowledge would have stoked more fury. God damn.
Yeah, spiritual awakening and the holy shit, if we don't praise, the goddess of creation, they're gonna kill us.
It's like there was a spiritual awakening, and there was a lot of people having a spiritual sleep too.
Well, you're either spiritually woke, you're either woke or dead.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry, I stepped away for a second.
It's fine. We're talking about crusades.
Yeah, because I let everybody know about the people I saw on watch.
Okay. Was I able to get that longbow and arrows?
Yes. I subtracted 51 gold from the armory.
Jesus, and you said there was like 80 something in there?
There was
Yeah,
85 gold.
There was
You
literally
over half
enough
the place.
for 1 week, and you took it.
Apparently. How many arrows were they able to snag out?
20.
Team Sport Tank now has range.
Hey, you know what's funny? Is if I use a ranged weapon, if I use my longbow with my rage and all that, I won't get the extra damage, but my freaking spiritual things still work. I just have to make an attack.
That's even better, because you can just snipe a dude while I'm fighting him, and then it's like, half damage, bitch!
You have to attack me. Could you come over here?
Please, there's this monk in the way.
Yes, but you guys were discussing the Risen that Father A saw in the city. Doesn't Father A worship the
Forgotten song.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He would not have a healthy opinion of the School of Purity. The rest of the Risen, they're all pleasant. They're wonderful people to talk to. Just those zealots are, kind of annoying.
I drew a funny picture in front of the Dead.
I like how you got Johan's height the same, or right though.
Yeah, for people, let's see, let me make sure the stream can see that. It's just, you're fired.
Fucking when did Donald Trump get here?
So, when did the evil campaign switch to Group E?
Really?
Joke's on you, we've always been the evil campaign.
We're not evil. We just, we make value decisions. We budget. We budget hard.
We support monarchs who may be shady, and we give people homelessness. All in the name of virtue.
And they were about to be homeless soon anyway. We just made it shorter.
We just expedited their ambitions. Jesus.
Alright. So, I think we should head back to Arter now and talk to... Well, we have to talk to the prince. We have to talk to, Career.
Talk to the prince.
We have to talk... Well, we need to talk to the prince to see like, his point of view on the story, like, what's going on, and why are all this shady shit happening? Why was he even there?
Why would he tell us
that sounds
truth?
like a one-way ticket to corner somebody and then get attacked.
If we were persuasive enough...
You want to threaten the magnate.
No. I don't. I want to, honest to God, talk it out with him. I don't believe in violence.
Mm-hmm.
Johan is literal in this entire conversation. If we are persuasive and kind and ask him politely, I'm sure he will tell us.
Yes, because that has never backfired once in anybody's lives.
Kytrina is going to pick up a stack of papers that was delivered to the estate, and among it are several images of Nyla with a bounty on it. And she's gonna raise it up and say, "I'm good at tracking people down. 10,000 gold would be a lot of money in our pockets, and we could also get her side of the story."
Pretty good at tracking people.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
I support finding the assassin. I don't know if I support turning her in.
But can I just point out the irony of the fact that the person who was hired by the assassin on that paper was given a bounty paper for her?
Oh yeah. Katrina's dad was also part of this entire. Let's kill the magnate, and then they deliver the bounty to his place.
Right, this is complicit.
Hey, he's just a mercenary, dude. You know, he was doing what he could do to keep the party lights
Bread
going.
on the table. You keep the party going. Keep food on the table. Keep his people employed.
Less bread on the table and more wine in the cellars.
He knows how to party. And how to
Maybe it was just he was on their mailing list, and they just hadn't taken him off of it.
Change his name to Gronkowski. He's obviously the Fiesta.
Alright, so the decision, though, is to go back to the capital?
Yes.
Sounds like it.
Walking, because horses are expensive.
Hey, I mean, you guys just picked up 300 gold from those people.
No, we didn't. We left it there for them so that they can survive until we get back.
Alright.
I'm gonna look at Pahil and Inari and be like, I'm sorry y'all just walked all the way here, turn the hell back around and get back.
So we
Well, to be fair, Lance,
Murtator just walked all the way here.
But we got sleep.
You know, Lance, you can always fire them too.
You know what? No.
Pahil is going to shrug and recite a poem saying, "No maiden fair whose wrath is cold, drawing the attention of an eye sought gold. Lying between the river's wake, every tale comes to seek glory's fate." The Anaran is going to nod and say, "Wise words indeed."
Johan is also going to nod and say, those do sound like pretty nice words.
The Don't encourage her.
John's intelligence is in my.
I'm gonna look at Pahil like grabbing like the bridge of my nose and be like, "Why can you not just talk like a normal person?" Please.
She shakes her head and says, "I'm sorry, sir. Is there another poem you'd like to hear?"
No, I would just like "It's okay," or "I'm fine with it," or "Please shoot me in the head with an arrow." Something of the lines of like a normal response. Not the response of...
Do you say that out? Do you want to be shot in the head with the arrow?
Yeah, I do. I am saying this out loud.
Elbrus holds the bow up with the arrow ready. Say what?
Any last words before you join the Aramir?
Someone else is about to be unemployed.
Smile on his face as it
like, it's a normal person response, Phil. Please.
Normal person response.
Like, there are times I love it when you start reciting poems and singing and stuff like that, and there are other times I just want an okay, let's go. And this is one of those times.
She puts a hand on your shoulder and says, don't be distracted by all these things serving to blind you. I am comforting you right now. You're comforted. It's going to be okay. Do you feel better? Are you comforted?
Don't patronize me, Phil.
I like it.
I know
the hell best day.
But he'll do Bay.
Just be yourself. How about that? You know what? Fine. I'd rather you say whatever the hell you say other than being patronized like this. I'm just gonna start walking towards the capital. God damn it.
I turned to Pahil and asked her if she plays any instruments to keep our journey back to the capital light.
She shakes her head and says, "No, but I can sing some songs I picked up on the road."
Please do on our journey back.
She, on the way back, she sings a horrific song. It sounds pleasant at first, but as you guys listen to it, it is about the magnate being butchered.
Well,
look at him on the way.
Then his throat was
Let the
slit.
bodies hit the
And then his throat was slit.
Are you sure it's not a little too soon for that kind of song?
She tells you she learned it in the capital.
As they happen.
Oh, so people in the capital are singing this. Oh, even better.
What about is there a song for the heroes who saved his son?
Not one that I've written yet.
That's
me telling you as a DM. There are actually lyrics to the song that she's singing. I'm just not going to recite them.
Not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay him to sing. That's what I was trying to get him to do.
I would pay you more to not sing.
Lance is the only one with the heart here paying people and servants. Anyways, though, I rolled your guys' travel already on the road.
We running into any bandits?
No, this road is actually really, really well patrolled. This is one of the few roads you wouldn't have to worry about that, even though the country is getting less and less safe. You guys get back to Ardor late that evening, around what would be our 11 o'clock at night.
Jesus, late.
Well, I mean, you guys walked.
Well, horses are expensive.
As we're traveling, I just want to pull Johan to the side for a quick second and go, it's kind of entertaining that our noble friend here has people that work for him that treat him like that.
That makes me feel better. At least I know we're not the only ones who think it.
Do I hear this?
By the way, it doesn't look it doesn't seem that Pahil was making fun of Lance. It was like, comfort me. It's like, alright, I'm trying. Does this work? Do you feel comforted? No. Sorry.
It's like, no, I feel patronized.
What makes it better is that she was honestly, earnestly trying.
No, that makes it worse.
It's like, can you lie to me? I will lie to you right now.
The sky is green.
You are being lied to. Do you feel like you're being lied to?
Does it make you feel better? I know. Alright.
I feel like I'd have a better...
Where you guys, do you guys just want to spend the night at the Calkin office?
Yeah, we also want to talk to Career about the new building that we just established. Makana, thank you.
That one.
Did you call her Career?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in group 2 mode.
His wife.
Yeah, so, as you guys get back to the, Calkin office, it is in significantly better, shape than, when you guys, last left it. What was, rugged, furniture was the only thing that hadn't been replaced, was finally replaced. There are new, desks in the lobby. The fireplace is crackling. You can see the, nice silk furniture that is, it is, red silk furniture that's in there, in the front lobby, and the rest of the building, though, is silent. It seems Makana has still not hired, staff to replace everyone else.
As we walk in, Celebris just goes, "Oh, such a nice building. Shame we're gonna, abandon it."
Is who here?
Biasa, or however the hell you say her fucking name?
Oh, yeah!
Biasa.
Biasa.
Yeah, Biasa.
Biasa, I'm saying Biasa, sounds like a Street Fighter.
Yes, she is there. She has a message from the prince for Lance.
Oh lord.
She tells him it is to be read in private. Does Lance go someplace and read this?
I'm presuming we have our own rooms, right? Or are we all sharing one room?
There are 4 rooms inside of the Calkin office. There is one bunk room where everybody sleeps. There is a meeting room, though, where people can, where you can have a moderate amount of privacy.
I'll take me and my retainers.
Alright. Reading the letter?
Wait. Johan wants to go and eavesdrop on it.
Alright. Roll me a stealth check.
Celebris is going to be right there, too.
Father A will respect his privacy.
What privacy?
Wow, I did worse than a paladin.
I have a -1 in stealth. You have a 5.
Well, I'm not gonna. I should say this just for the fact that like there's a hole in the logic here. I don't have to read it out loud.
Yeah.
We're trying to look over your shoulder. We're just
how are you going to read it over his shoulder? You can't see over his shoulder.
Yeah,
I'm going to get a stool.
As you go into the meeting room and you close the door behind you, and Naren is going to be the only one who beats Johan's stealth check. And as Lance starts reading the letter, she stops him and says, your paladin friend is still by the door.
Walk over. Can I stealth up to the door here?
I mean, you can, but he can't see you.
That's the point.
Right, I can't see him?
Yeah, there's a door between you guys.
No, that's the point. Like, I'm stealthing up to the door, like, so I can't hear the door.
Yeah, roll me a stealth check.
19.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna beat his passive perception.
Probably.
Now I'm gonna open the door, like, I'm gonna open up the door, like, super fast, like, can I help you?
Oh, trying to hit me with the door is what he's doing.
No, not trying to hit you. Just
this
like...
one opens inwards.
I wanted to read the note too.
The prince asked me for in private. If there's anything that that is needed to be shared on a need-to-know basis, you'll hear it. Unless there's not, and it's useless information like it normally is, you're fine. Now I'm gonna shut the door.
I get back to the rest of the group and go, I trust him. He said he'd tell us.
Alright. Reading the letter, the prince explains the first member of the High Council has been selected by the Chantry of Concordance. A man by the name of Typhus Season.
Hold on, let me write this down somewhere. I'm guessing it's Typus for some reason.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Typheus.
God, that fucking E's in there. Typhus.
You were close to Brandon's crazy ass felon.
Yeah,
I know.
very close. Lance is going to know this is a member of the was formerly a member of the Ethics Council. He has been promoted to a member of the High Council. It is now his job to select the new magnate. The prince.
So console.
Yeah, the prince goes on to state that he has met Typhus once, and he doesn't think very highly of the prince. And the prince has been in contact with another person by the name of Draylin Madison.
Oh god.
And if the prince would like you to go talk to this person, and he claims that he will be able to get the prince elected as magnate if the prince can get him on the High Council.
Alright, got it all written down. So we got Typhus Seasons, been right at the High Council. And then, unfortunately, I know him from another Draylin Madison.
The prince is also commending you for your initiative on recruiting Lethalia Nakart to your guys' side.
Alright.
Well,
you don't know that. Don't you have nothing?
also, one vampire to another vampire.
Yeah, really? That's even if we go. Who said I'm wanting to go? Alright, I'm gonna come out of the meeting room to everybody else. Or unless y'all want to just come into the meeting room, one of the two, whatever y'all feel like.
Well,
Oh, we are respecting your privacy and are standing outside.
I didn't go upstairs because I'm not a dick.
I'm gonna open the door, like, would y'all like to come in, or would you like me to come out?
We're all in the main lobby, so.
We would like for you to come out.
Okay. I'll walk out. I don't know what the retainers are doing. They're doing whatever they want.
They're retaining.
Yeah, the retaining privacy.
Pahil and Biza. Oh my god, that's gonna murder me. Why did I do that?
B-E-Z-A.
Yeah, Biza are
Yeah.
going to both go to sleep. Anarin is going to be following behind you.
Okay. My ugly dwarf that has the friggin' has the brain capacity of a slug is behind me. I'll get the group and be like, so one member of the High has been elected already, which is good. Typhus Season, Typhus. And the prince wishes us to go see some dude I've never heard of, Draylin Madison?
Do we all just kind of chuckle at that one? I'm gonna chuckle.
Yeah, you guys know that name.
Yeah,
the
we
rest
know
of the
that
party
name.
knows the name as he was playing a game between the party and Silver Sigil. He sent the party into the Silver Sigil's trap and then the Silver Sigil was holding Makana as bait to try and find out who was trying to kill her, etc., etc. Oh yeah, he also attacked the Kelkin office. That too.
Well,
the prince is saying that he could help. This Draylen person could help him get into like official magnate status instead of just temporary as he is.
Yeah, it's worth noting in the note, by the way, the prince wants you to investigate this guy's claims. He doesn't know Draylen. He's just been in contact with him. So this guy says he can help me. See if he's sketch or not.
Silver's kind of looks at Johan, and you can actually hear his head turning almost like stone.
Yeah, no. Johan's also like, we could just immediately go tell the prince. No.
He's sketch.
He is the last person you want support. Like, no, he would totally get you elected. But man, that is some shady shit you don't want on your hands.
You think the Silver Sigil is bad?
This dude.
This dude is worse.
This building here that was destroyed and was rebuilt and everything, he was part of the reason it was destroyed.
Huh. No one did anything about this?
No.
Well...
Katrina's gonna pipe in and say, people have tried to kill him. That Arabella girl tried twice.
Maybe that is. Also, in a note, the prince has talked to this typhus person. And he's already got one strike against him. Typhus doesn't like the prince.
Typhus doesn't like the prince?
He does not like him.
I think we should go talk to Typhus and see what issues he has with the prince.
I was literally about to make that exact same suggestion, Johan.
I also believe that we should, before the end of the night, before we turn in, talk. Did we already talk to Makana about the new base?
Is Makana there?
No, she's sleeping in the bunk room.
Okay.
Do you want to wake up the psycho assassin, or do I? Or no?
She's not a psycho assassin. She's my fearless leader.
I don't think her. From hearing of her stories, I don't think assassin is the right word. Brute? Brute's a pretty good word.
Oh, Makana told you guys she's been tracking Draylen Madison in the city.
That too. Yeah.
He may be somewhat involved with why her hometown was destroyed.
And
well, yeah, that's something else we know about him because of the letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know the dude's super sketch.
Like, he is not trustworthy. We don't need to go find this out, whether he's trustworthy or not.
We know
Hey,
he might have
Draylen's trustworthy.
I would like you guys to know, in the entire time of the campaign, Draylen has never betrayed a promise he's made to any of the people
I was
that
about to say, Draylen is trustworthy. He's just sleazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, the prince asked me to do it, so I'm gonna do it anyway, just to confirm.
I'm gonna put it this way. We have reason to believe Draylen, or what happened to the Magnate and the monster we fought, had something to do with some kind of thing Draylen was trying to create.
You know what? This sounds like we should go investigate it more.
Here's the thing. If you don't have solid proof, I'm still gonna do what the prince asked.
Okay.
Solid proof we had letters that were in his room written by him.
Well, I more or less mean, like... I don't know what I mean.
We saw this letter?
No, you
We know
don't.
he's a
Arabella
vampire, right?
Arabella has those letters, except for I'm gonna roll a percentage die for if Makana muscled the one off of Arabella and Pax before she left. And yes, Makana has the one letter.
It sounds like we should like wait till Makana wakes up and then tell her about everything before heading out to do our business tomorrow, since it's getting so late again.
Yeah, I don't think disturbing people at 11 p.m. is 11 at night is a...
It's more a factor of I'm not going to wake up Makana.
Makana does enjoy her.
Alright, so the plan is to wait till the next morning?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it a note that I sleep near my retainers.
I'm going to actually sleep out in the main lobby, so that way I can try to keep somewhat of an ear if anyone tries to get into the building.
Johan's going to sleep in his own bunk. This is his place.
Alright, few things happen for the night. It is the night of second day in the capital, moving into third day. The Kalkin is... Oh, we're not on Ardor. Let me move us over there. The Kalkin office is located inside of the city proper. And as such is pretty much closest to where all the people traveling through the city are. There are riots late into the evening. Even when you guys were coming back, there were people on the streets being somewhat rowdy. However, the guards are able to, or rather, the Nakart soldiers are able to get it under control by about 1 a.m. in the evening. The next morning, or rather, that's all that happens for that night. The next morning, there is a line outside the Kalkin office waiting for them to wake up. Or rather, waiting for the office to come to.
Open?
Yes,
okay.
That word.
Celebris was out in the main lobby. Probably be the first to wake up and notice this.
Yeah. As Celebris gets up, there are two people outside the office. One looks like a peasant or some sort of commoner, dressed in winter clothing. Oh, hey, we need weather for today.
It's cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
It's actually starting to snow again.
Literally the Ice Age.
Well, you guys are on the tail end of winter, so... anyways, though...
fucking snow would go away!
There are, two people outside the Kalkin office. One looks like a peasant, the other one looks like a chantry member. As Celebris opens the door to them, they walk in. The chantry member notes looking around and says, I thought the Kalkin would never open their doors again. And they look to Celebris and says, Alright, we have events to report. Do we give those to you?
Can Johan
Celebris will just call back to everyone else.
Yeah.
Johan, Katrina, Makana, you have guests.
Johan will start
We're
taking
down
the...
anyway, so he's an early riser.
Johan will start working on the paperwork.
Alright, Katrina will join you. There have been some odd magical occurrences in town that each of these people are reporting. One's reporting them in things disappearing in the livestock area of the markets over in Aline, and the Kalkin, or I'm sorry, the Chantry member is reporting that the Terrai that congregate inside the crypts near the chantries have been experimenting with strange magics, and it's about time that they be cleared out.
We would also, or Johan will also, like, during the point in time when people are reporting, also like to use this opportunity to try and recruit for the Calcan as well, since we are live members at the moment.
All right, roll me a charisma, or roll me a persuasion check. Let's see. The peasant guy, or rather the peasant, they're reporting from the livestock market, is going to take off his winter scarf and ask, do you pay better than the sheep herders?
Yes, we do. We also provide training and a place to stay.
He nods and says, well, it sure beats going back over to Aline. I don't want to deal with the black markets anymore. And he shrugs and says, I'll join. The
Cool.
Chantry member shakes their head and says, I appreciate what you guys do for the cities and towns that you're in, but I cannot tie myself to your organization. It's rather gruesome, but please make sure you take care of those Terrai.
Well, we support anyone who support us.
The cleric nods and leaves.
You said there was a line too, right?
That was the line.
Oh, that line. You couldn't even wait outside. All right. Has Career gotten up yet?
Makana? Yeah,
Makana,
Makana
damn it.
is awake.
I am never going to do. I'm going to keep doing that.
You don't even like your wife.
I don't.
You have a wife that you don't like? Jesus Christ.
Man, you have not watched Group 2.
No, I haven't. You get that down on the head. I'll watch I'll watch Group. What is the two I'm in? Fucking C and D. I'll watch their episodes just so I can remember what the hell happened last session.
There are a lot of names that I'm throwing at you guys, and I apologize. Eventually, you guys will find out who you want to work for and who you want to support, and then it'll be as simple as, you know, this person needs you to go do that. It's like, cool.
I would have worked for Brock Brook.
I would rather support Draylon. He's a man with a plan.
Hey, quick
Traylon,
question.
you know
What was the chantry that I'm under currently? I forget.
Your cleric is the Chantry of Harmony. It is
Harmony.
the.
I was thinking I
Yeah.
kept thinking Concordance for whatever reason.
Yeah, the Air
Concordance is where
Chantry.
it's at.
Yeah, Concordance picked their member of the High Council.
And that's why I asked, because there's something.
Yeah, they
Alright,
selected type
so-
of season.
I turned to Career. Career, god damn it! Makana! I am literally going to be doing this all night. Literally going to be doing this all night.
At least you're consistent.
I turned to Makana and start, since we got all the paperwork, I start talking about the, well, one, I guess I'll introduce him to the new recruit, since I'm assuming he's still here.
Yeah,
And-
his name is Kraylin.
Kraylin.
Yeah. Makana looks him once over, not even giving him a second glance, and says he's not fit to hold a sword, but he can work as a scribe.
We can train him too. Like, eventually I think he'll become useful. He's still young.
He is not young. He is middle-aged.
He's still young.
Ultimate human middle age is young for dwarf.
Yeah.
But anyways, So, no, he can take in people. But anyways, we're going to recite how Katrina has inherited what is essentially a fortress and that other town, and how we need people over there to start filling it. And my idea was to send this guy over there so he can start taking requests. Yeah.
She's going to raise her eyebrows at you for a second and say, "I think he should, or he needs to spend a few days here learning how our operations work, before we send him in command of any place on its own. My sister should be sending in people to refill our office that will be here any day. Actually, let's see that travel from the quarters to here. Let's see when your Calcan reinforcements are gonna come. That is 1 hex, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Jesus Christ. When the next campaign starts...
I was like, join us for campaign 3.
Yeah.
When we start using, I don't know, Roman numerals, because we can't use numbers and letters.
Alpha group.
Yeah, they are 25 days out, and when the message...
Soon.
Yeah, let's see, when the message was sent that that these people were dead, it was the 29th of Father. So let's see, 40 minus 29 plus 10 days. They are 4 days out. Or wait, no, it's the 3rd. So plus 3 more days. They are a day out from new Calcan officers.
Yay! Now we have people that we're supposed to have people that can fill the offices.
I look at Johan
And
and
Makana nods and says, "The sooner this place is back up and running, the sooner I can keep a closer eye on Draylin."
Speaking
and
of,
with that, I go, maybe we should go to the meeting room without the new recruit and start discussing some other things.
I think we should actually head out and start, start asking questions. I think we already have a game plan.
But don't we want to talk to Makana first and see what her take on the situation is? Especially in light of the information we picked up while we were over in Sarai.
Oh, yeah. We can do that. We're going to leave the Kraden? Is that his name?
Kraylin.
Kraylin.
Kraylin Dennison.
I'm just going to call him Krillin.
He will be dead by next session.
No, it's Krillin, not Yamcha. Get it right. Come on, man.
Well, hold up. Yamcha only died once.
Yeah. No, he died twice.
Yeah, that's all it took for him to never fight again.
Because he died during the Saiyans, too.
He died technically 3 times because Boo killed everyone.
That's true.
That's true.
The only person never to die in Dragon Ball Z is Mr. Saiyan.
The ultimate fighter.
Wait, yeah, that's true. Gohan's never died, has he?
Gohan died. He died.
Gohan has
He
done.
died when Boo blew up the Earth.
Oh, this is Peyton. I'm thinking. I thought you meant Saiyaman.
He also died when Boo absorbed him.
He was
He
still
wasn't
alive.
dead. He was still alive.
No, in Super they said that he died.
It's D&D, not DBZ.
Yeah, I'm sitting here just
Dragon Ball
like
Z is my
remembering all
favorite
this. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Anyways,
Yeah, I have a lot of comments about that for later. So right now the game plan is to go talk to the prince.
no, the game plan is to go talk to Makana in private while Katrina starts giving the new recruit show around the office and what to do.
Yeah, Kytrina, who is the daughter of a mercenary and a sentinel, who is the muscle you bring in to help finish jobs, is just going to point to the desk and is like, you sit here. When people come through there, you write down what they say, and you tell us. Kraylin nods, and Katrina walks away.
Wait.
You know what? That's probably better than any of us would have done.
You showed him where the rooms are for like food and where to sleep.
Yeah, she starts giving him a proper tour of the place.
Wait, have y'all gone to the meeting room yet?
Yes.
I would like to note that Lance is not there with y'all. Lance has left the building alone after y'all went to the meeting room.
Cool. Splitting the party and going by yourself. Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Where
What
is
are you guys doing, Lance?
where is Lance headed? And does he bring?
Also, did anybody notice him leave?
I think I would wait till y'all actually go into the. Like, I know y'all are there, so like there's a room between us.
Does Lance bring any of his retainers?
I believe
You don't have to bring them with you everywhere you go.
Yes.
I'm just gonna bring a Naren and.
Okay, a Naren?
Yeah, Naren with me, because I'm gonna have her take me to the Chantry of Harmony.
Friend Aaron.
All right. Quickest way
I
to
am
the
Friend Aaron.
and this is just a side note, which you can tell me real quick. Quickest way to the Chantry of Harmony is to pay for a ferry across the river.
Swim it.
Otherwise, it's a bit of a walk out and around the town, because the only bridge that crosses the river is on the north side of the city proper.
We're walking.
Alright, the Chantry of Harmony is over at the Shaper's Retreat. Oh yeah, that was his name, the Kingdom Shaper. That was it. Anyways, yeah, we'll come back to you, because it'll be a while, because
There's a
that's,
whole thing I want to do.
that's your path right there. Anyways, so talking to Makana of once you guys get her alone in the room, what's the game plan?
Well, I start by pulling out the wanted poster for Melina and show it to her.
Nyla,
Sorry.
yeah, the
Nyla.
posters for.
Getting all the names wrong today.
There's 2,000 names. So I don't fault you guys. You just gotta find who you want to attack and just go after them.
Also,
So
you're
we're
making
going with different
really complicated names.
And we're going from different games too. There's like 100 people.
Yeah.
And plus, they're all fucking complicated names. No one has a name like fucking Jim or Jimmy or.
We have a Phil. We have a Phil, and it's pronounced Hill.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little complicated.
There is a naming convention for each nation, and you guys have
And
met.
they're all stupid.
You guys have met Jim. Kraylin is like a. Kraylor would be like would be your John or Timothy. And Kraylin is a variation of that, of just like,
Okay,
I'm gonna name
well,
my son
apparently-
something unique.
The Drake family likes to name their kids hashtag.
If I ever in a world where Kraylin is a common name as Jim, shoot me in the face.
Well, luckily you'll be in one of those weird animes where you get hit by a bus and teleported to a fantastic new world.
As soon as that happens, I'm finding a cliff and jumping.
The
It can be
names,
zero where that doesn't kill you.
Fuck.
the names of people you guys have met so far on my list. I'm just gonna read you out some NPCs for the common names in this nation. There's Curious Adorai.
Please don't. We're gonna pray.
There's Curious.
As it is.
There's Curious Yalder, Curious Ryek. There is another Curious that's people never got the last name of. I just have a note of where people met him and what he was doing. There is Kiris Ataclon. He is
Fucking
the
hell.
Yeah.
One.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Curious is like the most common name here.
Yeah. The name of the first god to ever ascend was Kiris, and so since then, people named their child,
So
Kiris as
what,
John.
Kiris Gale song?
It's on the wiki. It's like Kiris Matthews or something. Let's see. Gale Song of the Skies. Because I will solve this right now. There we go. You're just gonna get this out of this way. His mortal name was... He was born Kiris Matthew.
That last name, though.
I didn't know, and it's spelled like Mapheu.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually, you were like right on the money. Mapheu. Kiris Matthew, and that is why everybody is named Kiris. And then Kraylor was a very famous mortal hero. So that's the... Or no, Kraylor is also a star constellation. It is a mortal hero and a star constellation, so that's why it's the second most popular. And then
Personally, my mind's blown by the fact that they have slave names and descendant names. I just thought that was his name.
Well, I mean, once you're a god, you got to have something flavorful. You don't want to be named John, like John, the god of skies.
Dude, that
Maybe I'm God of the skies right now.
Anyways, though, so you guys start talking to Makana, and I think Anthony was about to say something before we got into the naming discussion. Oh, the wanted poster for Nyla, yeah.
I pull it out and I show it to Makana. And I start by asking her, do you notice something weird about this wanted poster?
She is going to look it over and roll a insight check and shake her head and say, no, it's the assassin from that night at the Sage's Tower.
Look at her face.
he has a face. How could she have a face? He had a hood when we got there.
Oh,
The prince never saw her face. How did he give an accurate description of it?
yeah. Makana is going to raise up her glance, looking at you, and then crumple the paper in her hand. Not intentionally, just as her hand becomes a fist, she just kind of forgets that it's there.
The anger squish.
Yeah.
Been there.
And then while we were over at Lady, I'm not even gonna try. While we were over in the other
Lethalia Nagart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
no,
know
not
names.
Lady
I
Big
keep
Booty
notes.
Bitches. Lady Nakart's estate. We were talking to her squire, and he kept asking questions that brought up a few questions of our own. What was the prince doing there that night? He was never a council member or anything to do with any of the chantries.
Makana is going to nod and say, normally I'm not the one to be doing the investigation. I come in with a singular task, and that's what I try and handle. But I think these are all valid points, and the prince, we should arrest him and question him on these matters, but I don't have the authority to do that. However, the warden has declared martial law, and he doesn't like the prince at all. We could go get a warrant from him and act on such authority and detain the prince.
There's also some other things. Our new friend there, Lance, which at this point Celebris kind of looks around the room. Where the hell is Lance?
Well, worst case scenario, he's following that letter. Best case scenario, he's following that letter.
Makana's going to tilt her head and say, letter?
Yesterday, Lance's, one of his, people brought him a letter from the prince saying that Draylin is backing him as the new magnate.
No, not that he's backing him. Is that he wants to go see if we could get Draylin's backing for him
I thought it said that Draylin guarantees he can make him the magnate.
Yeah, but he hasn't accepted this backing yet. So he wanted to see if that was true.
And also, they've picked one of the new council members.
And they don't like the prince.
Yeah, apparently already has a thing against the prince.
Makana is going to turn to the stone fireplace in the room and punch the stone, cracking pieces of it with her gauntlet, and say, I don't give a damn about this nation's politics, but if Draylin is involved in something, trying to manipulate it and for something similar that happened to Calcrest here, he needs to be stopped.
I agree. I don't like Draylin either. And normally I see the good in people, but there's a lot of question marks surrounding that man.
Makana is going to point to Johan and say, you get the prince to meet with this Draylin. I'll get the warrant from the warden, and then when they're both in the same place, we'll arrest the prince and kill Draylin.
Why?
Why are we arresting the prince?
Yeah, the prince has done nothing wrong.
Well, we can't prove that.
Yeah. Johan's saying the prince has done nothing wrong.
Yeah, Makana nods and says if he's done nothing wrong, then we'll release him after questioning.
We're gonna need to find out what happened.
I'm curious about something. Who pulls his strings?
That is what we need to question him about.
But think about it. The Silver Sigil has asked us to essentially be those strings. And Draylin has made a move to be those strings. That's far from the only people in the shadows in this city, I imagine. But two of them don't have influence. I highly doubt he's a solo act.
I don't know. His decisions, haven't been... I don't see his decisions affecting or going in anyone's favor as of yet. I think he's just winging it at this point.
Katrina, yesterday while we were at the keep, you mentioned that you wanted to try to start tracking Nyla. Maybe that's something we should look into, is getting her so we can get what happened that night from her involving the prince.
Do that both sides of the story.
Makana is going to nod at this, and you guys see her visibly trying to control her rage before she finally slams her knuckle into her gauntlet and says, I'll hold down our headquarters until the recruits come. By then, you guys better know who we're attacking and when, 'cause I'm ready.
although Johann does not believe in violence,
Johann
does believe...
has known Makana as the wrecking ball of
Well, yeah,
the
yeah.
Kalkin.
Like, although he does not believe in violence, he does believe that Lord Madison needs to be stopped. So he is, like doesn't want to get in a fight, but is perfectly okay with capturing Draylen.
Let's see if Makana has any contacts in the city for you guys. She's going to roll a, history check and try and remember, some people.
There's a lord that she knows.
There is a lord she knows. She is also going to give you guys, 2 other names that you might be able to track, Nyla through. There is a councilman by the name of Kaz, who tried to have the Kalkin take out some people for him a while ago, claiming they were partaking of profane rituals. And when the Kalkin investigated the matter, it was a shoddy assassination attempt instead, and she imagines that he would probably have contacts to the assassins in town. And then she...
What was the last name? Cows?
Councilman Kaz. K-O-Z. And then she also gives you the name of a woman by the name of Ariak. She came to the Kalkin a while ago, complaining of cultists and other Terai that have that took her brother's soul, and perhaps the woman also tried to hire assassins to get revenge. What is all of that stuff? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Alright.
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
How long have you been waiting for someone to say that?
A while.
I've been sitting here reading that, I'm like, I'm not giving him the credit. I'm not doing it.
But Kaz works in the Council of Currency, and then Ariek works as a livestock caretaker for a noble family over in the Aline district.
I look over to Johann. Didn't we just hire a new? Didn't you just hire a new secretary that was from the livestock district over in Aline?
Yes, I did.
Hey, you think all livestock people know each other?
Do all livestock people know each other, God?
I'm actually about to roll the percentage die. Above 50 they do, below 50 they don't. 16. Yeah.
They do.
No, they don't.
No, they do.
Themselves.
Competition's fierce, man.
Right, they hate their jobs and they don't want to associate with other people who would do their jobs.
I smell like fucking shit all day. You think I want to be around other people? I smell like shit?
Yeah.
No!
So, you guys want to go talk to the prince, or you can send Kytrina or somebody else to go track down these people to talk to assassins?
I vote we send Kytrina to go track down the assassin Nyla, by following the lead that Makana has.
Alright.
And then I say we are going to use the Draylen meeting to meet with the prince anyways. We might as well hold off a meeting with the prince
We should
until
probably
then.
talk to the council member, the new council member.
Oh,
Yeah.
Typhus.
Yeah, so we should go talk to Typhus then.
All right. Okay.
Brandon, as everyone leaves, I want to have a quick thing with Makana before.
All right. What do you want to say? Now, I hope you were picked up on this through the roleplay. You need to be very careful how you phrase things, because when she goes, she just goes.
No, that's fine. It's kind of something completely separate from all that.
All right. What's he? What do you?
As everyone leaves the room, I look over to Makana. I go up to Makana. I know this is all kind of bullshit right now, but I might have some good news for you.
She is staring at you with a look of intensity, of just like not knowing if she's about to hit you in the face or if she's about to hug you. But it is one of those of she has a lot of emotions going on right now.
If you want to hit me afterwards, you're more than welcome to, but after giving it a lot of thought, I've decided I'm going to take you up on your offer.
Her fist with the clenched, or with the crumpled paper, opens as she flexes her fingers, and she extends a hand forward and says, I suppose I can skip on combat training for you.
I mean, if you want to, I've always thought it'd be interesting to have a sparring match against you once in a while. I might not be conscious afterwards, but it'd be interesting to say the least. Takes her hand.
She shakes it, and she points towards the hallway and says, if you want to achieve any rank above beyond just being a scribe, you'll have to familiarize yourself with the nature of magic and recognizing when it's working appropriately and when people are touching powers they shouldn't have access to.
Something I'll have to probably study into at another time. I think pressing matters pushes me more towards heading out and investigating these current situations.
She nods and says, take a book on the basics. Read it in your free time.
Will do.
Alright. You can add a Kalkin training manual to your inventory that you grabbed from the other room. I'm gonna pull up Johan's sheet real quick. Oh my god, Johan's adorable.
I'm glad you finally noticed.
I saw that too, but I didn't say anything. I found one with him with a giant mole that's twice his size.
For Johan, I don't know if you have it recorded. Oh, you do. Okay, cool.
I do.
Yeah, the Kalkin training feat. All right.
Yeah, I also have the Kalkin handbook.
Yeah, you will get your training when you finish reading the book. You can also ask Johan in his free time to summarize it for you.
I figure while we're walking around, I'll be talking to Johan about things and having him explain certain things.
Alright, so you guys are headed to the councilman. So we're gonna jump over to Lance, headed to the Chantry of Harmony.
I was about to say, is Lance's other two people there still?
Yeah, they're in the lobby.
Yes.
Pahil is reading, and Bieza has not had any duties ascribed to her.
Alright,
Ascribed, I think that's the word. There we go.
Before we cut over, I'm just going to ask him, kind of like as a transition way, where did Lance go?
Let's see if we have a poem to explain that.
Well, she's gonna answer fucking poem.
Allow me to answer you in song.
An interpretive dance.
I was about to say, as long as it's not interpretive dance, I'm good.
See, these are the times that I love when she does it.
She is Pahil is going to look up from her book and say, "Lo, the days of life lol, now and yen to bind our coal."
English, please, or
I'm
common,
just going to
please.
insight that if I can. Can I insight that, see if there's any way I know that?
Yeah, you can.
Big booty bitches.
18?
It is the beginning of a religious text. You might have heard it before. However, the
What's
main
the chantry that he's...
the main
heard of?
reason of it, it's the chantry of harmony. But just understanding the lines, it's the main reason of the poem is saying having a reason of what binds you together.
Well, because the monk temple that I was a part of was part of the chantry of harmony.
Yes.
So would I recognize it from that?
No, it is not a verse of the Chantry of Harmony, but it is it is religious of nature.
Okay.
Ida is going to speak up and say, he went someplace with his advisor, the small little monk from the Chantry.
Okay. I guess if he shows back up here and we're not here, tell him we were heading to Councilman... Oh, I've already forgotten his name again. Typhus.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, Typhus. Alright. Jumping over to Lance. Approaching the Shaper's Retreat, the monks out here labor outside the city, tending to orchards, growing food for the rest of the capital. They're not growing anything right now, but they are tilling and de-weeding the fields and getting them ready for the end of winter and the start of the planting season. Just about everybody at the Shaper's Retreat is a member of the Chantry, and they're dressed in, although it's bitter cold outside, they're dressed in simple brown robes. A couple of them wearing cloaks as they go about their work over here. As Inarin is leading you there, she's going to ask as you get closer, excuse me, sir, for asking, but you've never been very religious. Why did you want me to bring you to the Chantry today?
I'm gonna look around a little bit, make sure no one's kind of like tailing us. Well, you see, you know the competition between the family, obviously. And let's just say the entire city seems to not want this prince as the magnate, so who says a Marfell would be too bad as a magnate? Wouldn't be it wouldn't hurt my name either. Think about it. Easily beat Henry and David in the competition. Become head of household and become the head of a country. Doesn't sound like too bad of a deal.
She nods and says, so you're going to ask for them to put somebody on the High Council that would vote for you?
Well, that, or if I can, just try to figure out who they're going to put on High Council, and I can maybe sweet talk them. And then at some point we will be meeting with Typhus, see if I can get him to also support me.
She nods and starts clapping and says, "Very wise, very wise. I learned much wisdom following behind you."
That's not a good thing. That's out of character. That's not
No one likes a kiss ass, Inara.
And while we're at it, I might talk to this Draylen person for myself. If he's trying to get the prince in power, why not have someone with a little more face than some young pompous asshole?
That's rude. He's
Yeah,
trying his
Draylen's
hardest.
a pompous asshole.
It's true, though.
Yeah, the prince is trying his hardest.
Prince is trying.
To kill everybody in his path.
He's not trying to do that. He's just trying his best. He's winging it. He doesn't know shit about what he's doing right now.
Oh, he knows exactly what he's doing.
That's what the worst part is.
He knows exactly what he's doing. Exactly the wrong thing to do, because he has no idea what else to do.
Alright. So, the first thing, stepping into the, Shaper's, retreat, there is a, within the Chantry, there is a second tower made of, pure white stone, that reaches to the roof. Inside of it, there are, several, lights from the doorway of the tower, however, there are no other windows or anything else that leads into the inner tower. Around the Chantry, different people move around, but the thing you're going to notice here is this Chantry doesn't have many people visiting it that aren't already members of the Chantry of Harmony. Everybody inside is in a brown robes. And inside, all of them...
I'm walking into my fucking green-ass robes.
All of them are barefoot. Where other chantries have, the public moving all throughout the building, this seems to be wholly occupied by the monks of the chantry.
So before I go in, I'm going to go ahead and take my boots off from my backpack.
Cold feet, cold feet, cold
And
feet.
Narin is...
Cold feet, fuck it.
And Narin's going to raise a hand and say, "Very wise, very wise." And do the same, taking off her boots.
Come, stepping, high-toeing in, fuck, the snow is cold, fuck.
Yeah, inside the building, it's not much warmer, but it's, or I guess it's, closer to the side of pleasant. It's still pretty cold here.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to look at it Nari. So, who the fuck do I talk to here?
She is going to, point towards, the, library, on the first floor, and say it would be the sage's job, to handle requests from the city and, individuals.
More than a city member, but... Okay. Alright, well, to the, sage.
Alright, the sage that handles this library is a man by the...
Oh dear God, not another one.
No, it's a man by the name of Kraylor. I didn't write a last name for him.
Hell!
We're just gonna give him a random last name so you can, so you'll have something to refer to him as.
Hold on now, let me, fucking go into these notes. How do you spell his name?
Kraylor, just like all the other Kraylors you guys have met, Krelor.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. This is the first Kraylor I'm putting in my notes.
Oh, nice. Okay, all those other Kraylors are from other people's campaigns. Then it's
just like
it's less popular in Ardor Sarai. That one's the John of the rest of the world.
Fuck John. Please tell me his last name is the Doe of.
No, it is Sunsiri. Sonsiri.
Can't be SUN. It's gotta be SON. Siri, fucking. Apparently, he's gonna make the iPhone 7 here in a minute.
He is the person who handles the knowledge of the Chantry and distributing it. So, he would be your information bank.
All right, so how approach him and. God, how do I greet these people?
As you approach him, he is giving orders to other Sagites running around. He is telling them where to properly file books, and says, no, the tombs from the university go on the far... and he's going to see you and Anarin walking in, and he says, a foreign sage. Welcome to the Chantry's library.
Hello, my brother. It's a guy, right?
It is. As you go to introduce yourself, he turns around very sharply and says, "No, I just said put those on the other side!" The Sagites carrying the books stop from filing them on the shelf and take the two they place and start running to the other side of the library.
I hope I haven't caught you at a bad time.
He shakes his head and says, No. The new recruits of the Chantry just need proper rearing to grow into wise sages.
Okay. Well, that's good. Now, I know me being a foreigner here, well, a foreigner to this Chantry, at least, this might seem like an odd
He
request.
puts up a hand and looks in the distance and says, I swear to our sleeping god, if you are filing arcanology with divine oscillations, I will come over there and smite each one of you individually. They look at the books they're putting on the shelf and take the 3 that they place and pick them back up. He turns and says, I'm sorry, go on.
I don't know what 7 of those words you just said there. This is an odd request for a foreigner. I'm a knight of the prince currently, and the prince is losing a little bit of face. And here's the thing: I don't believe the prince is going to be a good choice for magnate. Obviously, I feel as though a person of the people, such as myself, would be a better choice. I've protected the prince. I know the going-ons of the world, of the country. I know what the people want. I am one of the people. I came from being a foreigner to this country to all of a sudden being a citizen and being a, what is it called? I have it written down somewhere, a soul sarai here as well. I wish to become the magnate, and I wish to know who it is y'all plan to put on High Council. I would wish to speak with him and hopefully gain face with that person as well to better my chance of becoming magnate.
As you are going on and suggesting all of this, the man is nodding along, not paying any attention to the Sagites he was ordering about earlier, before you finally finish, and he turns and sees them putting books in a different place. And he yells a final time about more subjects that Lance probably has no cares about.
Probably not.
Specifically yelling, divine magical theories are not planar attributions.
Ooh, actually, I'm a part of a planar attribution.
he points to a section that is relatively empty of books, and says, "If I have to do everything here myself, I might as well ship you guys back up north and let you study with the mountain wardens freezing your tails off." They each bow and say, "No, we're sorry. We're sorry, Sage Sunseri." He just huffs once at them as they move the books into the proper section. He turns back to you and says, "Our Ocular already has announced their appointment for the High Council. However, we are waiting on her to accept. We've suggested Lady Nakart be placed as a member of the council, but she's already declined once."
You don't say, because I just came back from her fucking place. Excuse my language. So is there a secondary person in case she were to decline and you have, like, do you have a backup?
The sage nods and says, sorry, I had to mute my microphone. Okay, just go ahead and close it. I love you. Stay real. Anyways, the sage...
Stay real.
The sage is going to nod and say, well, naturally, the Lady Nakart could nominate anyone she feels is appropriate to take her spot on the High Council. But the person she nominated, the Ocular has no faith in. So we have been kind of dragging our feet around here, so to speak, to find a proper replacement. And he puts a hand on Lance's shoulder and says, as soon as we have one, it will be announced publicly."
That's the thing. I would love to be able to speak with them before it goes public. Because once it goes public, they're going to be swamped down with multiple people trying to speak with them on this situation, I guarantee.
He nods and says, well, the current person holding Lithelia's nomination is a noble by the name of Anadelia Surreal.
Oh god, that's another name I gotta write down.
Original Bay.
And he's gonna shake his head and say, but the woman is brash, and she married another noble, pushing a foreign faith on our nation, and none of the Chantries can properly support her as a member of the High Council. So, if she chooses to accept the nomination, we'll withdraw our vote, our suggestion of Lady Nakart.
What would that mean, like, entail? Would that mean, would it make it anyways if you withdraw the vote, or would she still become a member of the High Council?
He shakes his head and says, we would select somebody else.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
Stupid.
Well, that's... Yeah, really. That's really all I came to ask, is if you had a decision made. If Lady Nakart refuses and this becomes... I guess I'll have to wait till it becomes public knowledge. That kind of puts a damper in my plans, but... What's the god of harmony's name again?
Veilrear.
If that's what if Veilreal has it that way, planned that way, then so be it, I guess.
He nods and says, when the Great Shaper awakes, his will be manifested across all the land.
As indeed it will. Huh. Well, I guess I'll just wait till it's public. I'm gonna get out of your hair so you can whip these people and whip these Zagites into shape.
He says, "Wait, what?" And turns around and sees the Zagites seem kind of confused into the order of how they've been putting the books on the shelf. Several of which are upside down. He drags a hand across his face, and as Lance leaves, hears a symphony of yelling.
I'll look at Inari like, well, that was a bust, but it was a good try. I got a little more info than I came out with. We'll put my shoes back on before I walk out the door.
Yeah, Anarin is going to say, I'm glad I trained with the sage outside the town of Fabel. It was much nicer than that.
Fabel could be a it's okay. Okay, so where to next?
Back to the Kalkin office, or to the Prince, or to meet with Draylin, or to meet with Typhus.
Decisions. I don't want to get to the Prince empty-handed. I speak with Typhus.
Alright, you just tell me where he's headed, and we will jump over to the the rest of the party. You guys are able to find Typhus, or rather, you're able to find the Ethics Council, and this is like the Nightmare Council. If there is a place you guys do not want to be, and people you do not want to talk to, it is the people who make the moral judgments for the government of Arter Sarai. They are
Isn't that where Orencina's father works as like the head jailer or something?
No, he's in Storm's Nest. He is with the Royal Army. They are annoying. They are morally sound. They are preachy, and the list goes on and on and on. Anyways, though, you guys are able to be led to Typhus's former office. Inside of the Ethics Council, when you get up to his office, you hear voices on the other side of the door before the servant leading you. It says our Councilman Typhus just got a big promotion, and he's packing up his office for today.
Can I check to see if I catch any of what he is saying?
You can roll me a perception check.
Never mind.
Alright, yeah, there are two voices on the other side of the door, but you don't recognize them.
I don't hear anything with just my passive perception.
What's your passive?
16.
16. Yeah, you hear a woman's voice, and you hear a man's voice. The woman seems to be congratulating him, and I actually have to go look at her name, because names. Boom, got it. Anyways, the servant knocks on the door before Typhus yells, "Come in!" Opening the door, the servant bows and says, "Councilman, you have visitors here on business from the Prince." The woman talking to Typhus looks over and says, "High Council one day and talking with the Magnate the next. You're moving up in the world." She places a hand on his shoulder before he instead takes her by the other hand and shakes it. She walks out of the room, bowing to the party, and then back to Typhus.
Celebrus will bow to her as she leaves.
Elon will nod.
I'm back. Nice nat one.
Mm-hmm. He gestures for the party to come in and says, "What does the acting magnate request of me? Surely it's not an attempt to buy my vote, as others have done."
No, actually, we were not actually ordered by the magnate to come here. We wanted to know why your opinion for him was so sour.
He is, let's see if he's going to... remember, and he's going to think for a second and say, "Sour opinion for the prince. Have I ever met him before?" He shakes his head and says, "I can't recall specifically having a conversation with him. However, the news of my appointment is not yet public. It's to be announced later today. And in that span of time, he has already sent me a multitude of gifts and a multitude of messengers, trying to convince me of his worth as magnate."
I'm sorry. I just want to roll insight to see if he really has never met the prince before.
I too will roll insight. Well, I may not need it, but do it anyway.
Might as well.
Yeah, inciting Typhus's words, he doesn't have much of a reason to lie to you. However, you guys each know that the members of the council would have business with the magnate, and if anything, maybe the prince was there for like one of those, and the never introduced himself or something like that. But as far as you can tell, Typhus doesn't seem to be lying.
Alright. So I'm gonna lean over to
he's packing stuff away from his desk. He says, "I can assure you, I have no ill feelings for the prince. As I recall him, he was always odd."
I'm going to lean over to Celebrus and go.
Odd how?
While Alexander's asking the question, I go, maybe in the letter, the prince was just jumping to conclusions that this guy doesn't like him. He hasn't actually given him a chance yet.
I grab Father Anderson real quick and pull him over as well so the two of them can hear me. Should we bring up our concerns with the prince to him? I mean, if they're going to be voting on a new magnate,
our concerns are all speculative.
Yeah, like, we don't even know if the prince is actually doing anything shady. It could just, like, honestly speaking, he's about to, and we can stop him. Like, I think that the prince is just woefully ill-prepared. The only thing that we need, like, that should really be questioned is why he was there that night when the magnate died, and why he survived. And I don't think Typhus is going to tell us that.
Fair enough.
With this information, though, I believe that we should try and get Typhus to support the prince until proven otherwise.
He said the prince has been sending people over already.
Yeah, we should probably let the prince know that less is more in certain instances.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll let you take lead on this one. Go on.
So, after our short huddle,
God, how?
Yeah, by the way, Typhus has been watching you guys as you've been in there.
I was about to
doesn't
say we did
seem
a friendship tunnel, and
yeah, it doesn't seem that he's been paying too much attention to what you were talking about.
yeah.
As you guys turn back towards him, he asks, "Were my words that concerning?"
No, actually, the opposite. The prince was worried that he might not have your support. I'm guessing that's why he's been sending so many gifts. Seeing as you're still undecided, I don't believe it's a bad thing that, I don't believe, like, either good nor bad. It doesn't seem like you're leaning towards one way in particular, are you?
He is going to look at you and then exhale and say, "I honestly believe Arter's best choice for a magnate is long gone out of the country."
and who would that be?
Russell Rampal.
Yes, exactly.
His sister-in-law. There, got it.
Russell wants that party. Said that he was the man that should rule the world.
Karis Bredrick, he was a noble in the East, a very well-respected man. He ruled over the Kalu provinces until Nazram started recruiting more and more soldiers, and he gave away his title to his son, passed on his inheritance, forsook his noble name, and traveled to the other side of the world to fight against the Archblight.
Sounds like a noble man indeed.
He nods and says, "If only he knew what his country was going through now."
You know, I don't know where Johan would stand on this. That sounds like a man that should leave the country.
He is, from what Typhus just told you guys, I'll move us back over to the map.
Wait, can I use a history check to see if I know anything about, like, common knowledge about him beforehand?
Yes, you can, but it's not common knowledge.
Okay.
But you can history check it.
Jesus Christ! So you stare into the abyss
Yeah.
for a while there.
The spirit of Russell Renalpaw possesses his knowledge of history.
Alright, so Red X is where you guys are at on the map. From Typhus's description, let's go with a purple X is where Karis is. So.
Man, that is a journey to go get a king.
That is a heck of a
you
journey.
had a sailor.
All right, not a candidate
That's like
anymore.
a year's journey, man.
Yeah. Typhus looks out towards the city through his window and says he left his son in charge of the Kalu provinces, and many think that if he trusted Gibson enough to leave him in charge of the provinces, that he would bear some semblance of his father's wisdom or honor. But I don't trust somebody simply because they're born of the same blood. And he looks back towards the party and says, "And that is where my thoughts lie on the prince."
Gotcha.
Odd how.
He he nods and says, the magnate was a legendary warrior, taught all of his sons in the same fashion, but the prince took up a study of magic. I remember very clearly discussing the ethics of it with the other counselors and if it was allowed or not.
What kind of magic?
He was gonna take a moment and insight it, and oh, there he goes. He's going to say the prince had tutors coming in from the Maphis University, all the way from Ilderon. It was those tutors that caused the intervention of the Ethics Council to come to a decision on if they were allowed or not as diplomats inside the castle.
So the problem wasn't the field of study, but the teachers?
He nods and says, from a bureaucratic standpoint, but I must say in honest, I don't know exactly what he studied. But he was the first of the magnate's sons to choose that route.
I'm gonna lean over to the other two again real quick. Did any of you know that he studied magic?
I know he practiced. I remember him practicing like some iffy religious stuff. That may have just been him practicing his magic.
The two could be tied together.
Typhus is going to look back to the party and say, tell me, I've heard rumors on the wind. Perhaps you could confirm them for me.
We can do our best.
The prince is not the only one claiming or who holds a blood relation to the magnate. Rumors speak of a daughter.
There's a daughter?
First we've heard of this.
Wait. I'm gonna do a history check. Is it the first we heard of this? Maybe.
Out there too.
If you want to use
Like an
if you want to use something to give yourself,
I want to use his. Man,
I already know the answer is no, you don't.
Apparently,
single digits.
Father Anderson knows the entire history of the magnate's family, all the way back to their conception.
What?
All the way.
What chantry was Father Anderson working with? The Chantry of Concordance?
You know it because I can't stay away from the Adequan family.
Yeah. Alright, so as a underground smuggler, what's his face? Father Anderson
Ron?
is, no. Father Anderson is going to, know that there was a sage that came to him for advice, smuggling a small baby out of the capital when the string of assassinations was happening, last time a magnate was being...
It wasn't me.
but she caught you in the shower.
Wasn't me.
I was talking about the smuggler. It wasn't me.
And that the child was a potential target for assassins. So the rumor has legs.
Do I know what happened with that child?
I mean,
like, yo, dog, I don't ship kids.
I mean, I'm assuming Father... I'll let you make that choice, but I'm assuming Father Anderson just did what Father Anderson did. It's like, yeah, I smuggle things. Sure, whatever.
I mean, if you got the coin, I got these hands.
You can carry a small child.
They can't.
Normally,
I can.
they
So yeah, I mean, I would have. Father Alexander would have helped.
Money's money.
Well,
They would
Babies
just-
are warriors. They aren't ready to serve the serve Haldora in the great fight yet. So, but
Alright.
yeah, so
Does he say that out loud?
that babies are not prepared.
Or no,
No.
talking about
No, he'll-
the Forgotten
He'll-
Song.
As the ethereal presence of the universe enchants me with history, I will no, that makes sense. I may have helped it out of this country.
Alright, so there's precedence that there may be another one claiming to the another one who stakes their claim to the magnate.
I should note, if the child I helped out of the country is this heir, it's a child.
It would be older than the
Well, how old?
prince.
Older than Prince?
Yeah, the magnate.
Wait, so was it-
Yeah, the
so
magnate
was-
reigned for quite some time. He had the prince. The prince was his first child born while he was on the throne.
Well, you said with the baby, so was it a person with a child? Like, hey, I gotta get out of here.
No, it was more like, hey,
This was years ago.
so that was
this-
the other question. That was
Yeah,
a
like
long-
this
a
wasn't like 2 or
everything.
3 years ago. Like this was about a decade and a half ago.
Okay.
Or,
question
over that.
then: why has the magnate kept this second child a secret? Why have they not try and go back and reclaim their daughter?
Have you considered?
I mean,
Anything about that question?
if you're asking me
Yes.
that as a player,
No, I am asking everybody in the group that now that we have discovered, yay, this is possible. I'm like, okay, if this
Oh,
is
so
possible.
let me renote and like back up because I had my dates wrong.
So it's like, yeah, I probably helped them out of the country. They'd be maybe of age at this point?
yes.
I'm like, okay, so in this time of peace that we've had in between then and now, before this time of crisis, how come the magnate never went back to get their daughter after everything is safe? Also-
Well,
Typhus is going to shrug and say, it's a rumor I've heard just on the winds lately. However, if it does hold any truth, I think she should be found, and if we're going to consider passing on the throne via bloodline, we should be able to evaluate all of the options available to us. And
I
if the
find that-
prince is the best one, then as is Ardor's tradition, the best will rise to the top.
Johan agrees with this plan.
He nods towards Father A and says, "This is the first I've heard of stories giving weight to this story. Thank you for that."
Syllabus is just kind of staring at Father Anderson, kind of slight mouth agape at the moment.
I mean, if this is
things, Celebris.
yeah, if this is one of those moments of just like, why didn't you tell us this earlier? I read this book last week, and there was this like port guard.
Erotic fantasy.
Yeah, there's this port guard. No, and the people are like the main characters come to this port controlled by their enemy, but they don't know the enemy's taken over the port. And so they talk to like the port master, and they get passage ready for another ship. And they're walking around the port and see the enemy guards, and they run back and they're like, "Why didn't you tell us they were in charge of the city?" And he's like, "How was I supposed to know that's something I'm supposed to tell you? You never asked me."
Right? Like,
The next day, like 2 hours later, the guards come through and it's like, "Why didn't you tell us refugees were running through the city?" It's like, why does everybody assume I'm just supposed to go and tell them everything? Like, I don't know these people. I would tell you immediately if I knew it was important.
One of the large arguments against the prince is that we don't just hand this shit out because you had the right dad. So why would I tell you about a baby I smuggled 18 years ago that may or may not also have a claim? Ask the right questions, guys.
Alright. So, I guess we want to go find a young lady now? So Delbert has any opinions on this?
Do you guys have any idea where to start?
I was about to say, I got her out of the country. I couldn't tell you necessarily where she is.
Well, if there's a rumor going around, someone's spreading those rumors. Maybe she's trying to start, maybe she's petitioning, and she's like vocally showing, hey, here I am, I want to become the next magnate. Then we just look for that person.
Or maybe Father Anderson has some contacts that might know what happened to the child afterwards.
I could go ask around.
The man shakes his head and says the rumors are coming from a babbling old loon.
Is it my favorite babbling old loon?
Please don't be the favorite old babbling loon. Please don't be him.
He shrugs and says it was a old friend of mine who's lost his mind with the recent stresses put upon him.
What is this babbling loon's name, if I may ask?
He says he was a sage in the Chantry of Concordance, Alshindoris, but he hasn't said a word worth much of anything other than that in the time that he returned from being kidnapped.
Oh shit, wasn't that in one of his sins?
Excuse me.
It was indeed in one of his sins.
God damn it! I am a huge feature in this book! I might as well get a co-credit.
Oh yeah, your temple was burned down and you helped them smuggle.
And then he had the audacity to hire me to smuggle a baby.
Well, in his credit, or to his credit, he asked you to smuggle the baby before he burned your temple down.
Well, I'm glad to know that he still needs to atone for something. Wait, so would I know that that's who hired me? That like, oh.
Or would not
I mean, you recall the event. You don't really recall the person. Is like back then you were just a wild, crazy dude. I'm assuming, just like, oh yeah, this one sage did come to me, but I mean. Yeah, that would be about the most you know about him. Is kind of a hush hush. The less we talk about this, the better type of thing.
Where?
I'd recognize the name.
Yeah, regardless, you know the name.
The book.
Yeah.
But
Where can we find this babbling old loon, as you put it?
Typhus is going to search through his things and pull out a map of the city and point and say he has a manor overlooking the river near Maiden's Watch. If you can get him to speak a coherent sentence, I'll be all the more impressed with you. I've had tea with him since I've been back in the capital, but once again, the stresses on his mind make it hard and rather unpleasant to hold a conversation with him. He's a shell of who he once was.
Well, if there's one thing we're good at, it's having very unpleasant conversations with people. that just don't seem to make sense at the time.
At this point, is it okay to call it a night?
Oh yeah, that's actually probably a good place to stop. I wasn't even paying attention to the time.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't notice.
All right, so yeah, we'll pick up there next session. Yeah, Typhus would be one of the few people to have heard those rumors. So good on you guys on good on you guys on picking that up. You guys should probably tell the prince there's another person with his blood out there, because he
No.
you know,
At this point,
probably
I am
appreciate
not
that.
ruining my smuggle job by telling the guy that's probably getting stabby.
Hey, did you see where I said?
Once again, there's been
I
no
did.
proof that he has done anything wrong.
There's no proof he hasn't.
That's true for everybody in this race. Except for Draylon. We know he's been shady as shit.
No, hold up. Depends on how you define shady. He's up and up with what he does. It's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
That's
Shaden,
that's why it's
Draylon
shady.
does bad things, but he's upfront about it. Yeah.
Speaking of Draylon,
Draylon doesn't stab you in the back. He stabs you in the front.
You
I
know,
might be speaking with Draylon next session.
Nomad asked him, or not Nomad, Myrule asked him to kill him, and you know what Draylon did? He killed him.
He killed him.
That was, you know, a request asked, a request made.
Actually, that might be the one broken promise.
Booty, 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 rocking everywhere.
Big
But-
booty bitches, big booty bitches.
Good session tonight. I'm trying to remember everything that happened. Kaitrina, Makana is a little bit slow for story, but big things, big reveals.
Firing.
Oh yeah, the firing.
You're flying.
Firing. That happened. You know what? We don't need all these people here. We're going to fill out the
need
people
all y'all.
that work
You're
for us
flying.
already. We don't have to pay them anything.
Yeah, Group D is the D is for Donald Trump. So,
You're flying.
I have the best words. The best
Johan's a
memory.
pacifist, but man, he's not afraid to make sure to let some people go.
He's
I can't
not
say I
afraid
have the
to
best
ruin
memory because that's
lives
sarcastic
by
and
not fighting.
yeah, I'm just gonna say 2,000 flat across the board for experience tonight.
Yay.
And you know
how
what?
many- how
I'm
much
gonna
experience-
also give Father Anderson a inspiration for
Damn it.
for
Smuggling a baby.
yeah, well, for coming through with that nat 20 too.
Smuggling a baby.
And
I got a question. Does anybody remember how much experience we got last week? Because I wasn't here to write it down.
Oh shit. Rip.
last
You
week-
might have just lost that experience. Not gonna lie.
well, I guess I get 50 extra experience for that net 20.
It
Well, how much does Lance have?
yeah, for
Lance should be at a base level, so
yeah, Lance should be able to
Who,
math it back
me?
to you guys. Yeah. subtract-
Currently, I'm at 26,506 currently.
26,000. What, the 2,000 from tonight?
Yeah, that's adding tonight.
All right,
Because
so
before
I,
work. Okay. Well,
I should dig-
24,560.
you're at 26,560.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
You should take away 50 from that because 50 of that comes from inspiration.
Okay, so I'm at 26,510 because I was also at base 7.
Yeah, so that should be about where you're at.
Yeah, on the daughter plot line, Kaitrina brought it up before with the atoned sins. She was just like, "Hey, this guy like said he atoned for these sins, and we found out, you know, how he atoned for this one. Perhaps we should investigate how this one was atoned for." And everybody's like, "No, that's stupid. You're dumb." And she's like, "Oh yeah, that is pretty dumb. All right, let's go."
Dumb. Dumb.
Which is beautiful because that conversation probably happened in Father A's presence. Like, oh, Baby smuggling? Back in the day.
Babies?
Well, the sins that he atoned for, he doesn't list how he atoned for them. The ones they just have atoned next to him.
Like, now I have to wait. The Chantry of Heart of me to announce will fucking do their shit and all that. It's gonna piss me. I'm gonna be sitting here waiting.
Your guys' next session is on the 10th.
10th. I should probably write that down somewhere.
Well, I thought today was the 3rd. Wow.
It's the 27th.
Yeah, I know. I was super off on that. I set the next game for the 3rd, and
where's my event planner?
Alright, I'm gonna end the broadcast. Got the experience posted. Got the next date for the session posted.